explain what we'll be working on tonight. It's kind of a little of this, a little of that. We'll start on the back. We'll do some leg stretches and some things to actually activate the hamstrings and the glutes in the back of the leg. And then later on, we'll do some stuff at the wall, which will be very interesting. I think you'll. No. We're not doing like headstands and stuff. It's more like lunge and warrior one. So yeah, if you have a wall, and if you're at home, if you can clear off some wall space, that'd be good. And if you don't, of course, you can do it in the center. Besides that, any special requests? Nada. Okay. So let's start sitting, and all of this extra stuff, that's just for me. You won't need that, unless you want it, of course. Give yourself just a little wobble. Yeah. And as you're wobbling, see if you can feel the buttock bones or the sitting bones, ischial tuberosities. There's many names for them. And start to let the rock settle down, but do see if you can be evenly balanced between the two sides. Yeah. And then let's do this too. Take the hands right at the top of the pelvis and do just a little kind of a cat-cow tilt back and forth. And notice if you have a tendency, some of us have a tendency to drop back all of the time. Some of us have the opposite, is to go forward. See if you can be right in the middle. Yeah, or maybe a tiny bit forward of that so you have some lumbar curve, but not too much. Great. And then let's pause here. Take your hands off to the sides onto your fingertips and just press down through the hands and see if you can lengthen long through the sides of the waist, through the trunk, through the crown of the head. Yeah. And then we'll keep the length. Let go with the arms. And now take the arms out and up and let this lifting of the arms help just to kind of pull you up. Yeah. Now, for many of us, when we lift the arms like this, the ribs pop forward and we end up kind of going into a little back bend. See if you can keep the front ribs down. And let go of any holding, gripping right around the side of the neck, the inner part of the shoulders. Good. And then let's relax. Put the arms down and we'll sit for a moment. So if it feels okay to close the eyes, do that. If that doesn't feel so good, keep the eyes open, but still see if you can relax around the eyes. Yeah. And one more time, find the grounding of your buttock bones down and just give a little extra boost, a little extra press down. Start to notice your breath and the movement that happens every time you breathe. Yeah, there's no need to change your breath in any way. But most of the time, as soon as we start paying attention, the breath will change. And just gently here, let's bow the head down and let the eyes blink open. And as we return the head back up to the center here, let's interlace the fingers. Press the palms forward, and if you're not able to do this, you'll just take the arms up like we did last time. It's called Badanguliasana. Ground down through the sitting bones and press upward through the index finger side of the hand. Yeah. See if you can relax a little bit around the neck and the shoulders. And notice if the ribs pulled forward, see if you can drop the ribs down, but still lift up at the same time. Yeah. All right. And then we'll undo the arms and re-interlace. We've got the other thumb on top. It'll feel funny. Press forward and up. Badanguliasana on side two. Yeah. Sometimes you have to think about it. If you think too hard, though, you'll end up going back to the first side again. So find the length. But again, relax any grippiness, tension around the neck. Yeah. Good. From here, let's undo the hands. Give the wrists a few little circles as the arms come out and down. And then why not change the way the legs are crossed to the other side and front. Yeah. And then from here, let's make some circles. And notice this too as you're circling the weight shift in the pelvis. Great, and then let's go the other direction. Good. Okay, and then let our movement settle. And in a second, we'll come onto the back. Let's just undo the legs and stretch them out. You can move the feet a little bit if you like. Good. Okay, so we won't use it quite yet, but let's have the strap handy. You'll come to lay down, and you won't need all of this stuff, but if you do want a blanket under the head, that's fine. And I'll suggest legs long on the floor, unless that's not comfortable for you. If you'd rather have the knees bent, that's fine. Yeah, it feels good to lay down. So as you lie here, yeah, just take a load off. Just take a second. And notice how your body meets the floor, particularly in the pelvis, back of the legs. And parts of you will make contact, and other parts of you won't. There'll be some space. And now think about the gluteal muscles. And on both sides, let's just create a little squeeze there. And you might notice the pelvis lifts a little bit away from the floor. And then let the squeeze go. So let's do that 2 more times. Just squeeze both sides and let them go. Great. And then let it go. And now we'll do it a little bit differently. So we'll start with just a little bit of engagement and then start to squeeze a little more, a little more, a little more, a little more, a little more until you're at max. And just pause there for a second. And now for a lot of us, myself particularly, as we let it go, we're going to gradually let it go. So little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Yeah. And notice if that's easy for you to do or if the muscles kind of spasm or get a little herky-jerky. Yeah, so we'll do that a few times. So just little bit, little bit, little bit, little more, little more, little more, and then pause at max. And then you'll let it go a little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, until it's completely relaxed. Yeah, and go for that one more time. Notice too, one side sometimes feels stronger than the other, or is more easily relaxed than the other. Good. And now the next time we go, see if you can go and just pause at about 50%. Yeah. And then let it go. And then let's do like 25%, so just a little less than before. Yeah. And let it go. And then let's do even less. You choose the percent, just a little less. Yeah. So a lot of times when we get instructions to engage a muscle or to squeeze a muscle, you know, different words for that, but we can totally overdo it. But see for how it's possible to do just a little bit, and there are different grades. All right, so let's pause here and just notice when the legs are relaxed and when we're doing the squeeze, they're rotated out. Let's press the heels forward so that the kneecaps point up, the toes point up, and if you have the knees bent, just press the heels a little bit into the floor. Yeah. And then from this position, let's take the arms right in front of your chest, palms of the hands face each other, and slowly start to lift the arms back and up towards your head, but try not to let the ribs come up with the arms. So the ribs stay down, and that may or may not limit you here in how far you go. If you happen to touch the floor, only let the tips of the thumbs touch them. Yeah. Great. And then let's let the arms come in front of you again. And keep the legs active, the heels pressing out. Let's do our Baddha Kolasana. So you'll interlace, press the palms away from you, and then slowly start to draw the arms back overhead again. Same thing about the ribs. Don't let them pop up. Keep the ribs down. Keep the heels pressing away from you. The index finger side of the hand pressing away from you. Good. And then let's do last one. Just come back up, change the interlace. Don't think too hard, just do it. And then press the palms of the hands away from you, the heels away from you as the arms start to draw back by the head. Yeah, good. It's a variation on Supta Tadasana here. Reclined mountain pose. And then let's let the legs relax, let the arms come down. If you need to wiggle the fingers or circle the ankles, take a second. Good. All right. So next, let's locate your strap, and you can use any handhold, loop or no loop, doesn't matter. We'll put the strap over the right foot and send the right leg up, and you can have the left leg either bent or straight, whatever's the most comfortable. And give yourself a minute or so of anything at all. So that might be like a little pull towards you and away from you. You could bend and straighten the knee. You can take some little circles. So just whatever feels natural here, whatever your leg is asking for. Yeah. Good. And then let's pause in a place where you're feeling not so much stretch. So let the leg come a little bit away from you. And then if you can, wiggle the strap down so it's more at the heel and less towards the toes or towards the arch of the foot. Yeah. Now in your position here, pretend that there's a wall in front of you. And you're trying to press the heel into the wall, and you can kind of use the strap to create a little resistance. And when we do this, I'm looking for a little bit of activation here through the back of the leg, the hamstrings. Yeah. Just pause at that little press. And then you'll release the press. Use the arms to draw the leg towards you and now create more of a stretch. Yeah. We're going to do this 2 more times the exact same way. Let the leg come a little away from you. And then press out into your imaginary wall. And at the same time, create a little bit of resistance using the arms and the strap. Yeah. And then we'll back off. Let the arms pull the leg more towards you, creating that little stretch. And we'll go one more time. So let the leg move a little away from you. Press out into your imaginary wall, activating the whole back line of the leg. Good, good, good. And then let it go and use the arms to pull the leg any amount towards you here, and we'll just hold the stretch. Yeah, so we'll do one more version of this on the same leg. And for this one, it's best if the left leg is long on the floor. Let's pass both parts of the strap into the left hand and take your right leg over the midline, but not far, just a couple inches to the left. And now we're going to press the foot outward towards the right, but pull the strap towards the left, so it now creates the resistance on the side. And you might feel this work in the outer leg, outer hip, anywhere along here. Yeah. And then you'll back off of that and let the leg come a little bit further to the left if you like that. If not, stay put. And then same thing, we'll do 2 more rounds. So let the leg come a little bit up and press it outward towards the right and use the strap to pull to the left so it creates resistance. Yeah. I know this part's not that fun, but the stretch feels good when we let it go. Let's let it go and take the leg further if you wish. How far you go is up to you. If you go just a little bit, it'll be more IT band. If you go further, it'll be more glutes, so it's up to you. And then let's do last round. So come back, find the press, leg presses right, strap pulls left. Yeah, I know, this part's not that fun. Yeah, and then when we let it go, let's come into the stretch, and this time we'll hold the stretch a little longer, so your choice how far again to take the leg. Now, even though we're creating this stretch, we don't want to just be completely floppy here. So in the right foot, can you press the inner foot outward into the strap, and think of drawing the pinky toe in the direction of of you, so drawing downward. Yeah, good. All right, guys, let's come back up to the center, and then we'll release the right leg. Before we swap sides, just pause for a second with both legs long. And notice if there's any difference, yeah? You might notice one feels heavier or longer than the other, anything like that. Okay, so let's do side two. Same thing, so just give yourself a moment on the left side with whatever feels like a good idea. Right leg can be bent or straight at this point. I used to do this every single class. It's been a while. I don't do it that often anymore. Why? Just because, we do other things. So many yoga poses, so little time. Also, I think it's nice to do at the end of a practice too. It's good for both. All right, guys, let's pause here and slide the strap down so it's more at the heel. And back off a bit from stretch, so there's less stretch sensation. And then we'll press the heel, the back of the heel, forward into an imaginary wall. Use the strap to create a little resistance. If your arms get tired, you can wrap the hands around. Sometimes that feels better. Yeah. And then we'll back off. Use the arms to pull the leg towards you, just finding that stretch. Does anybody else find the stretch more satisfying after you just worked a little bit? Just me. Okay. And then go again. Let the leg come a little away. Press it outward as you pull the other direction. Yeah. The name of this kind of stretch is called a PNF, or it stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. And then relax, enjoy the stretch, pull the leg towards you. Yeah. Sometimes the muscle's more able to release after it works a little bit. Let's go one more time. So press out and pull. Find that little tug of war or push of war. Good. And then we'll find the stretch. Yeah. Okay. So if the right knee was bent before, let's put it long for this bit. Move both pieces of the strap into the right hand. And then from here, take the whole left leg a little bit to the right, but not too far. And then you'll use the strap to pull right, and the outer foot presses left. The whole leg presses left. And we want to feel the whole outside of the leg and or outer hip working. Yeah. Good. And then back off. Take the leg a little further to the right if you wish. Well, this side's different for me. And then same thing, we'll go twice more. So press outward and pull the strap the other direction. Yep, and then let it go. Take the leg any amount further. Okay, and then our last one, find the press, the engagement, the work. And then this time as we let it go, we'll stay a little longer. If that means maybe you go further, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Yeah. Notice though if you just completely flop out, and don't do that. See if you can continue to press the heel into the strap. Spread a little through the toes and draw the pinky side of the foot towards you a little bit. Yeah. All right, there it is. Good job, guys. Let's come back to center. And then we'll release the leg. Just take another last little check-in here. Notice how you've met the floor now after all of that stuff. And let's circle out the wrists a little, circle the ankles, wiggle fingers, toes. I keep kicking something. Oh, that's my water bottle. All right, guys. And then let's take one more stretch. Reach the arms. This time, don't worry about the ribs. Let them come up if they do. Okay. Yeah, so when you're ready, we'll bend the knees, roll over to the side. Yep, and we'll come up, we'll meet in the all-fours position, and if you need to change your prop setup, I just need to get rid of all this stuff. You can. If you need padding for under the knees, you can put a blanket there. All right, friends. So once you're in your all fours position, let's just start to move around a little bit. And that could be anything. I'm taking some circles or half circles. You could do cat-cow. Anything goes. Yeah. I hear a bunch of creaking. Who is that over there? Some of these floorboards too are kind of creaky, so we can blame that. Yeah. All right, guys, that's not the floor. Let the movement settle down, and we'll just reset to the all fours position. Take your right leg back with the toes tucked under and give your body a little push-pull, a little stretch through the calf, movement in the ankle. Great. Alrighty, let's pause here, and before we go elsewhere, broaden the collarbones. Lift a little through the low ribs and the low abdomen, and then in super slow motion, start to lift the right leg up. Think of lifting through the inner thigh, and don't let the back droop down towards the floor. Now pretend there's a wall behind you, and you could press the heel into the wall, but at the same time, just a teensy bit, pull the right half of the pelvis forward, just a little bit there. Let's take the left arm forward on your spider fingers, and then lift the left arm up, thumb faces up, and lower both down. Keep them straight and see if you can tap the floor at the same time with the hand and the foot. Yeah, and then up we come again, and down we go. This time we stay in the up position, so the thumb is facing up. Try not to move the pelvis here. Right leg rotates so the toes to the right, and then the left arm rotates so the thumb goes to the left. And then derotate back to center. Do that 2 more times. So the toes rotate to the right, the thumb rotates to the left. Oh, Sarah. And then go last round. Good. You can do it and then set the hand down, set the knee down. Back to child's pose just for a sec. Let's from child's pose go both hands spider fingers and give the mat a little scrunch action just to relieve the wrists. Yeah, you can give yourself a little wobble here as well. All right, yeah, before we do side 2, let's do this. From child's pose, feel free to have the knees as wide as you need. Elbows to the floor, palms of the hands down. It's forearms parallel to each other. Then as we inhale, don't move the arms, but try to pull them back. The hips will lift a little, and then keep coming, and the elbows will lift a little, but we don't go all the way straight. And then lower yourself down. Let's do that a few times. So as we inhale, we find this little pull back, hips lift, collarbones broaden, elbows lift. Exhale to release. Good, one more time, little pull back, little lift, then release. Good. Let's reset to our all fours position. Left leg reaches back, toes tuck under, give yourself that little push-pull. Yeah, we stretch the hammies, but not so much the calves. So here we go. And then let's pause, broaden the collarbones, lift a little through the low abdomen, and then slowly lift the left leg. Think of lifting from the inner thigh. Good. Take the right arm forward onto your fingertips, and then slowly start to lift the right arm. And then we'll tap both the toes and the fingers down. Try to land at the same time, really, really slowly. And then up we come. Yeah, and down we go. And up we come, and we'll stay up for this exciting situation. So as you're ready, rotate the left leg so the toes turn left. Rotate the right arm so the thumb turns right. And then come back to where you were. Do that 2 more times. So the thumb turns right, the toes turn left. Try not to let the pelvis move with the leg. Yeah, good. And then enough, release the arm, release the leg. Let's go to child's pose. This time, if you can have the toes tucked under, do. If that's a no-go, just keep the toes the regular position. Scooch the knees back if you can. Little toe torture. Yeah. Try to push the mat forward for a second with the hands. And then some of you will say, this is plenty for me. Some of you will want more. You can walk back the hands and sit on your heels. We won't be here for too long. And if it's not going to work on the knees, just forget about it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then that's enough of that. Let's come out, unhook the feet, give them a little shakety shake. Yeah, I always forget we have downstairs neighbors. Don't do that too hard. And then let's come back onto the belly. And if you're not going onto the belly, you can join me in child's pose. Yeah. So if you're on the belly, one leg at a time, lift a leg, scooch it back, and come down, just to create a little extra space there. And then the other side, lift, pull back, and down. Arms will be in that Sphinx elbow bent position. Yeah, just like we did in the other one here. Let yourself drop in the chest, and then as we inhale, try to pull the floor back, broaden the collarbones, lengthen to lift. Elbows will stay on the floor unless you're in child's pose, then a little lift. And exhale, we release. So let's do that a few times. Lengthen to lift, find that little pull back, so engaging through the upper back around the shoulder blades. Good. Now, if anybody would like to also lift the legs here, do so by lifting the inner thighs to lift the legs. Yeah. If that doesn't float your boat, just stick with the upper body. Good. All right, when we're done, we're done. Let's reset. Come into downward facing dog here. Take your time to get into position, and then once you do arrive, take any kind of movement. So you can pedal the legs, you can shift the hips, you can move your spine. Yeah. Good. Oh, how do those legs feel after that work we did with the straps? Yeah, it might feel pretty good, I gotta say. Yeah. All right, let's pause here. Widen your stance a little bit so the feet are about match distance. Bend the knees and start to walk the arms back to the legs. And then prop up for a moment with the forearms right on the thighs. You're in this kind of halfway squat position. Don't move the arms, but try to drag them back like we did in those sphinxes. And then in your feet, can you press down a little more into the heels? And when you do, I'm hoping you feel the whole back of the leg turn on, including our friends, the glutes. Yeah, let's keep that idea as we come all the way up. So inhale, we rise, lengthen the legs, lift the arms. Exhale, the arms come down. Good. So let's maintain this wide stance. Bend the knees, bring the hips back, take the hands to prayer, and press firmly into the heels. Keep doing that as we inhale, we rise. Out and up, come the arms. Exhale, we bend the knees, shifting the hips back. Yeah, do that 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Gorgeous. Last one up. And then this time on the way down, let's reset hands to the shins, just a halfway lift. On the way down, you can stay wide if you want to narrow your feet. We're going to walk forward to plank pose. Yay, plank. It's our first plank pose. Yeah, if you need to put the knees down, you can. Everybody broaden the collarbones, and then find that same little lift through the lower abdomen. Good. Think about the outer shoulders hugging in towards the midline, and that might help you engage the chest a little bit more. Looking good, looking good. Let's come all the way down to the belly, or again into child's pose if you prefer. 3 cobras, any style, any height. Yeah, inhale, we lengthen to lift. Exhale, we come back down. Yeah, 2 more, any style, any height. Good. And then this last one, if appropriate, use the cobra to go to down dog. If you need to come down and redo your arms, you can. Yeah. Mukha Svanasana. And then for this down dog, your choice. You can walk the hands to the feet or the feet to the hands when needed, standing forward, fold. Bend the knees, press into your heels. Use the inhale. We lengthen, lift, arms reach up. And then we'll set the arms down. Yay. Let's stand, yeah. Stand with the feet just right underneath you. Let's take a few little hula hoop asanas. Going around a little circle. And another direction. Good. So we're going to take a few variations of chair pose, Utkatasana, also known as fierce pose. So, also known as awkward pose, but I think fierce is a better way to put it. Fierce. Fierce, yeah. All right, so let's keep the feet about hips width distance apart. Bend your knees, but not too much, and send the hips back, but also not too much. And notice, is your tendency to tuck the pelvis under? Is your tendency to overdo it, going the other direction? Let's go both ways a little bit. Yeah. And then we're gonna find middle. So stay in the middle right there. And then let's slide the hands here to the outer legs and press the legs out into the hands into the legs. Keep doing that in your mind's eye, find your heels and press the heels, the center of the heels down like you're driving a nail down into the floor. Good. Let's keep that idea. Shift the hips back a little. And then take the arms, let's take them straight back alongside you. Broaden the collarbones. And then slowly here, take the arms forward and up. And just notice if the ribs popped forward. We'll make a little adjustment later. Yeah. Great. Continue to press out through the thighs and down through the heels. And very slowly come back up to stand. Oh, yeah. All right, release that. Take just a little wiggle for a second. And then we're going to do the next version of this on the wall. And I'm going to demonstrate first, and then you guys can join me. I'm going to just shift this a little so she can see. Yeah. All right. So in the chair pose, there is a tendency to kind of lean a little forward. We're going to use the wall as a barrier to not let that happen. So from your position, just watch for a second. We'll come into what we just did, and then the wall will be our barrier. We'll press the pinky side of the hand. Oh, if you could stand a little there so she could see. Yeah, the pinky side of the hand into the wall, and at the same time, let the front ribs draw away from the wall. That's where we'll go into the position. Yeah? So go ahead and how far away from the wall, it's individual. So you can fool with that a little bit. Feet about hips width distance apart. Let's come into just the legs here. Don't worry about the arms. And then find what we did before. So that out press through the thighs, root down through the heels. Go ahead and take the arms up here on the pinky side of the hand. Karate chop the wall. Press forward. But at the same time, can you draw the front ribs back? Yep. And then without moving the arms, can you sink the hips back and down a little more, keeping the front ribs in. And if you need to walk the feet back a little bit, you can. Yeah, nice job. And I'm looking at everybody's shoulders and they look glorious here. Awesome. When enough is enough, press into the heels, ease yourself up. We can release the arms. Yeah, good. And since we came all the way here, we're going to do it again. Yeah, a little bit better. If you need to adjust your distance from the wall, do that now. All right, so same rules apply. We bend the knees, shift the hips back, neutral pelvis. Press wide through the thighs, down through the heels. Arms come up, karate chop the wall. Press the pinky side of the hand into the wall, but pull the front ribs away from the wall. Can you do that without tucking the pelvis under? Keep your neutral. Awesome, awesome job. Now, if you're able to sink a little lower and a little further back, do without moving your hands. Yeah, pull the ribs in one more time. Good job, you guys. When you're done, press into the heels to come back up. Release. Yeah. If you were not fierce before, you are fierce now. Let's head back to your spot. We'll take another wall pose instead. Just this. Oh, yay. Okay. So here we are, top of the mat. Let's take a little hula hoop just to celebrate and kind of erase the Etch-a-Sketch. I could see it here. Did you get a nice little stretch in there? Awesome. In the other direction. Yeah. Okay. So here we are in front of the mat. Let's find, again, you're going to do lots of Uttanasanas today. Just a little one this time. Bring the hips back. Press into the heels. Inhale, we lift, we lengthen, we grow. Exhale, we're down, forward fold. If you want to bend the knees, you can. Inhale, it's a half lift. Exhale, we're down, hands to the floor. Let's walk back to plank pose. Stay here, broaden the collarbones. Lift a little through the lower abdomen. Yeah. And now here to pretend there's a wall behind your heels and you can press into the imaginary wall. Good, good, good. When you're ready, you'll ease your way down onto the belly. And for whatever reason, if you're not going to the belly, you'll roll to one side. Okay. Once you're there, like we did before, scooch the legs one at a time back and down just to create a little extra space. And then we'll bend the right knee. Reach back and hold the ankle if you can. Yeah. And notice right away, did you squeeze both sides of the the buttocks here. And if you did, let it go, let it go. Remember, we practiced that. And now, see if you can lift the lower abdomen. And then, a little bit tricky, can you squeeze just the right buttock, but not the left? Huh. And did that change what you're feeling in the quad? Yeah. And then relax the buttock, relax the leg. Let's go the other side. So first just get there. And notice if right away your tendency was to find that squeeze around the tailbone. See if you can let it go for a moment. Find the lift in the abdomen and keep that. And then find the squeeze on the left side. Let's go for like 50%. Not a death grip. Oh, yeah. My left one's always tighter. Good. And then let it go, let it go. Stay there, just wiggle a little bit, create a little wobble side to side. Yeah. All right. So we're heading to down dog. Take your time to get there. And then once you're in position, let's take this one slightly more narrow in the legs so the feet come closer together. They might touch, they might not, doesn't matter. And then also a little bit further forward than you normally have them. Yeah. Now from here, press the left heel towards the floor, bend the right knee. And then let's lift the right foot a little bit and look back and have the knees so they're next to each other, best you can. Yeah. Now from this position, press up through the right heel, and without the leg rotating or the knee turning to the side, the knee stays bent. Can you stamp the ceiling with your heel? And then put it a little down, like an inch or two, and then go again. Yeah. So we have a calf stretch on the left side and a little glute work on the right side. Good. And when enough is enough, we'll put the right foot next to the left foot and change sides. So the right heel sinks downward, left knee bends. Pick up the left foot and then look at and make sure the knees are next to each other. And then you'll press up through the left heel and start to stamp the ceiling without letting the knee go to the side. So we go up a little and down a little. Just a slow motion little pulse here. Holy moly, my right calf is getting a big stretch. Yeah. Okay. And then when enough is enough, put the foot down. Let's go wide. Feet about as wide as the mat. Bend the knees, crawl the arms back to the legs, and let's just prop up here and just hang out for a second. Forearms to thighs. You can take a little side to side if you like. You can circle the wrists, wiggle the fingers if you like. Anything at all. Good. Okay. And then we'll pause here. Have your weight in the heels. Press out through the thighs. And then we come all the way up. Arms lift, legs lengthen. Yes. And then the arms come back down. Good. Let's bring the feet just right underneath you. Wiggle around a little bit. Sometimes it's harder to move slower, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I like sweating bullets. It looks like it's harder than anything. Okay, so let's take another wall pose, and I'll demonstrate it, and then we'll do it together. Feel free to take your mat to the wall if you need that. I'm going to do without, but if you need it, take it. And then let me show here. So, depending on what feels most comfortable for you, some of you will have a block at the shin, and it might be here, and if you have a small foot, it might be there. I'm thinking most of us, though, will be on this. Yeah? So that's part one. Part two is here. We'll bend the back knee. We'll roll on the back leg, roll the inner thigh back, lift the abdomen, and then find that kind of 50% squeeze here on the right buttock as the leg starts to go straighter. Sorry, hands are still on the wall. And then we lift the rib cage away from the pelvis. I'll say more later, but this is how it looks. Yeah? Okay. So, I'll do it with you. Let's put the block at the left shin. It's below the knee, and we've got these nice squishy blocks, so it should be okay. Yeah. Good. And then have the hands to the wall and kind of scoogee the right foot back a little bit. At first, have the right heel up. Yeah. All right. Now in the position, bend the back knee. Roll the right inner thigh back, and you'll feel the right half of the pelvis come a little forward. Stay there. Lift up through the abdomen. And then just a 50% squeeze on the right buttock. Keep that as the leg starts to go straighter. Hands are still on the wall. Press into the wall, and can you lift the low abdomen, lift the rib cage off of the pelvis? Yeah. Now back leg goes any amount straighter. Start to crawl the arms up the wall, and then fingertips on the wall. Yeah. Good. Let's let go of the wall. Arms come up. And I forgot one piece. Hands come back, but stay. Turn the back heel now down to the floor, so it's more of a warrior one, but see if you can still roll the inner thigh back and keep the right buttock engaged. Yeah, and then go ahead and lift the hands away from the wall. Think of lifting the rib cage off the pelvis, but not tilting the bottom ribs forward. Yeah, are you still breathing though? You gotta ask. All right, you guys, looking good. Let's put the hands to the wall. And then grab the block so it doesn't fall out. Release that and change sides. I'm like hesitant to put my hands on the white wall, but it'll be okay. It's a yoga studio, we'll be fine. All right, so right leg is forward, left leg is back. Take a second just to get into position. So the back leg can hop back a little bit. At first, have the heel lifted. Bend the back knee. On the back leg, roll the inner thigh back. Lift the lower abdomen, and then a little bit, 50%, squeeze the left buttock as you slowly let the left leg go straighter. Anybody getting the stretch in the front of the leg, left side? Yeah, that's my plan. All right, let's lift the rib cage off the pelvis. Crawl the arms up a little higher, maybe on the fingertips. And then as you're ready, go any amount straighter in the back leg, and we'll put the heel down and take a second just to readjust. Roll the inner thigh back, find that lift again. And then as you're ready, if you're ready, let go of the wall, arms come up. See if you can do that without letting the lower front ribs pop forward. Yeah, you guys, glorious. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Okay, hands come back down, grab the block, and then step yourself out. We'll take another round, but before we do, fingertips on the wall. It's kind of like down dog. Come into that position. Yeah. Feet can go as wide as is comfortable here. Yes, good. All right. And then stay in your position. Everybody, bend the knees tiny little bit. I'll do this too. Take the very tops of the thighs back. Yeah, and pretend somebody poked you right in the center of the armpit. Lift the center of the armpit away from the floor and hug the outer shoulders in. Yeah, if you can keep that and go straighter in the legs too, if you need to keep the knees bent too. All right, let's come forward to come out. Yeah, just do this a little with the hands. Sometimes they get tired here holding the wall. Can we go again? Okay, same thing with a slight change. So let's do left leg first, left leg forward, right leg back. Find the block set up there, hands to the wall. Scooch the right leg back enough so the heel can lift. Bend the knee at first. Roll the inner thigh back, lift the abdomen, squeeze the right tush, and slowly go straighter in the leg. Yeah. Crawl the arms up, fingertips on the wall. Keep the rib cage lifting away from the pelvis, and when you're ready, turn the heel down to the floor, but keep all of the same stuff going on. Now, this is where it's a little different. Do the karate chop. So the pinkies are on the wall. Press the pinkies forward, take the front lower ribs back, and try to keep that as you now come away from the wall with the arms. Yes, yogis! Virabhadrasana 1. This used to be my least favorite pose, but I quite like it now. Good job. Hands to the wall. Grab your block. Let's release. Last side. Last side. Right leg forward. Block at the shin. Left leg back. Heel is lifted. All of the same actions. So the back knee is bent. Inner thigh rolls back. Lift the abdomen. Squeeze the left buttock as the leg starts to go straighter. That's it. Crawl the arms up the wall. Go on your fingertips. And then as you're ready, turn the back heel down, but keep all of the same actions going on. All right. Karate chop the wall. Press the pinky fingers into the wall, but at the same time, take the front lower ribs back. And try to maintain that as you let go. Arms reach up, 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 up. Back heel presses down, 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 down. Left buttock is still engaged. Yeah. Okay. Hands come to the wall. Grab your block. Come out of the pose. Woo. And then let's take another one of these, your choice fingertips or flat hands. If you want to go wider this time, that might feel better. Up to you. Good. Let's start the same way. Little bend in the knees. Press the tops of the thighs back, away from the wall. And then your friend just poked you in the center of the armpit. Lift the center of the armpit, but hug the outer shoulders in. Keep the abdomen engaged as you slowly go straighter in the legs. And instead of thinking towards the wall, think of almost pulling back away from the wall. Oh, yeah. And then when we're done, Come up, come forward to come out. Oh, yogis. Release, just wiggle around. Yeah. Good, we're done with the wall. You can get back home. But it's a whole warrior one, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So, next we'll take a little bit of a balance sequence, and then we'll glide into our warrior one without the wall, but all the same rules apply. Yeah? So, let's be at the front of the mat, feet a little bit apart, hands right at the top of the pelvis. Bend the knees, shift the hips back, find your chair pose, but don't go too low. All the same rules. So neutral pelvis, press out through the upper thighs, root down through the heels. Yeah, let's change the hands. Come to prayer. Shift to the left side, and then take the right foot forward. You're on the tippy tips of the toes, but there's no weight on the foot. And then come back to center, just tap the floor, but still no weight on it. Now come forward on the right diagonal. Yeah, back to center. It's like a little dance. Out straight right, back to center, back on the right diagonal, center, and now straight back, pause, center, and now this time come back to warrior one position. Yeah, back heel comes down. Let's stay leaning forward a little bit. On the back leg, push the heel back and down. See if you can engage the right tush about 50%. Hands to the pelvis, pull the rib cage away from the pelvis and start to come up. Can you do that without letting the front ribs poke out forward? Yeah, let's take the arms forward. Why not Badanguliasana, yeah? Interlace, press forward and lift. Oh, yogis. Here we are, here we are. Remember which thumb is on top. Yeah, just remember. And then let's hinge forward. Undo the hands, downward dog. Downward dog. Yeah, choices. You could be here, you could wiggle around. If you know the vinyasa and want to do that, that's fine. Let's take a second. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll get to the front of the mat. Any way you want to arrive. All right. Yay. And then come to stand. Okay. Last side. We've only got two. So feet a little apart, hands at the top of the pelvis, bend the knees, hips shift back. Let's press out, root down, hands to prayer. That's it. As you're ready, left foot, we tap forward, and then center. We tap forward left, diagonal, and center. We tap straight to the left, and center. Left diagonal back, and center. Left straight back, and center. And then let's glide back into warrior one legs. Put the hands on the pelvis. Stay leaning a little forward here. And then engage the left tush about 50%. Lengthen long through the torso. Engage up through the abdomen as we come up. Can you do that without letting the front ribs pop forward? Badanguliasana with the other side on top. If you forgot, it's fine. Forward and up. Oh, yeah. Press down through the back heel, up through the palms of the hands. But relax the shoulders, relax the face. Yogis. Here, one. Let's undo the arms, hinge forward. Down come the arms, back to downward facing dog. choices, stillness, movement, anything at all. You guys might enjoy what I'm doing. So the feet are a little wider than usual, and I'm just taking a little side to side, right, left shift. That might be enjoyable. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then let's come down to child's pose. Oh, never felt so good, huh? Yeah. Adding any movement here as well. Awesome. Okay. So let's pause. We'll come upright to a seated position. And feel free to be elevated if you need to sit on a blanket or something. Legs forward. Dandasana. And let's do this little kind of scooch. Pull the buttocks flush back on each side. Just have a more solid base, more access to the sitting bones. Scooch both legs a little to the right, not far, just a little bit. I'm going to mirror you. Right leg will cross over the left leg. You'll probably have a little more room to do this than I. And then press down into the floor. Press down to lift up. And now remember when we were holding the strap, it's a little bit like that. Can you press the inner edge of the foot, the big toe side outward? Yeah. And then don't go anywhere, but try to push the floor back as you angle the torso forward. And a little goes a long way for this one. It's kind of left leg. Are you feeling that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great. Now, back off. Lean a little to your left, and then the left knee will bend, and we'll now come into Gomukhasana legs. And this is when I can't do that well. Right knee is over left knee. If it's a no-go for any reason, instead you take Sukhasana. Yeah? So just like we did in Dandasana, put the hands to the floor, lift the pelvis and scooch it back a little. Actually, I don't think we did that in Dandasana, but we're doing it now. Yeah. Slide the thumbs into the hip creases, press down, create a little anchor as you lift up. And then without moving the hands, press back as you start to hinge the chest forward. Think forward and up, not forward and down. Yeah. And then if you'd like to let go, you can take the arms forward. At this point, if taking more of a forward fold, like a rounded position feels okay, you can. If a block either under the hands or under the forehead is a good idea, you can. And if a little sway is a good idea, you can add that in too. Great. Alrighty, friends. Let's start to angle yourself back up to center. Let's unhook the legs, just stretch them out, create a little shake. This is called Baba 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 Basana. And then we go to the other side. So both legs just a little to the left, not far, just over the midline. Left one crosses over, and at first this will be all about the right leg. So hands press down to lift up, and reach outward through the heel and the inner edge of the foot. That's it. And then don't move the hands, but try to press the floor back as you angle torso. For this side's different. This is more intense for me. Yeah, make sure you're breathing. Okie doke. So let's undo. Lean a little to your right. Bend the right knee. And then if Gomukhasana is a good idea, you'll be here. If Sukhasana is a better idea, you'll be here. Let's find that little lift, a little scooch back, and the thumbs into the hip crease. So first, just to anchor. So press down to lift up. Keep the hands here, press back to hinge forward. And at first, go forward and up. Yeah. If you want to let go, let go. If you want to start heading forward and down, that's an option, but be sure that you get the up first. Block either under the hands, under the head, most welcome. A little bit of movement, most welcome, whatever you want. Oh. Yeah, oh, so smart. You could put a block under the front leg. I forgot about that one. Yeah. find it's just for me more satisfying if you've done some work there first. Yeah, there's also more attention in the area. Good. Let's start to come back out. Yeah, undo the legs. Shakety shake, shake, shake. Shavasana. Yeah, so guess what? We're heading into Shavasana. Yay! If you want to do a little bit of windshield wiper or a little bridge or really anything that would feel good to you, any props that you know you'll want for Shavasana, have those handy. I'm going to do a little of this, and then I'm going to turn out the overhead lights. So start, yeah, if you need some wiggles, do. If you don't like to wiggle and just want to get there, that's fine. And as you settle in here, just allow the work to be done. We were on our back earlier in class. It might feel a little different now. See if you can drop into gravity. Relax all around your eyes and all around your face. Yeah, let go of any grippiness in the abdomen, in the buttocks, front of the thighs. Let go of any holding around the feet, the toes. Bring your awareness back to your body. It might feel good to roll your head. It might feel good to fingers, the toes. It might feel good to stretch the arms, the legs. So take a moment for anything at all. And whenever you're ready, let the knees bend and roll over to one side. From there, take your time to come upright. We'll meet sitting. Any way you want to sit is great. Hands to heart center. Thank your own body for everything that it's able to do. And thank yourself for being here. Namaste.
Namaste.